Hello, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to chat about something a little different, not really about health, fitness, beauty, wellness, but we're going to talk about tarot reading. The reason why I want to bring this up because it has been such a huge part of my life in the last year or so, and I think I talked a little about it. I do talk about it on my Instagram. I actually have another YouTube channel. I was thinking of dedicating that for more tarot reading, but I haven't done any reading on there since. I do readings on TikTok and Instagram. I use those as my platforms, and I filmed one video talking more about how I started with tarot reading, and I haven't posted more videos about it. But I do want to quickly share my experience because I think as I want to kind of expand this channel a little bit in terms of my life, things like that, I do want to share this and how I've been using tarot for self-growth as well, and just how I got into it in general. I think it was kind of sudden for a lot of people, but I have been I had my tarot with me for a couple years, and I didn't really do anything about it. I knew how to do the cards, and I just didn't really study too much into it, but I started doing more readings in the last year or two, and during COVID I just had a lot more time to study about it and able to actually do it professionally. So that's that. So let's get started. So I think the first question is how I got into it. So kind of fun story is my mom is more of a spiritual teacher. She does a lot of Reiki, crystal healing, sound healing, tarot, and I kind of resented it for a while for some reason. For a couple years I didn't really want to do anything about it, and then for the last year or two suddenly I just started to develop this interest and I want to learn more about it. So what happened was I just reached out to my mom. I had this tarot deck, actually a couple tarot decks with me for a while now. I didn't know what to do with it, and I was asking my mom about it. She gave me a couple lessons through Zoom because she's actually in Hong Kong right now, so we're still very far apart because of COVID. I haven't been able to go back home, so she gave me a couple lessons through Zoom. Myself, I did a lot more research on it. I'm going to post some resources in the description bar below as well. And I did a lot of digging and studying when it comes to tarot, and I would say I'm not a super experienced tarot reader, but for the most part I've been doing a lot of readings and practices, and all my clients came back to me saying that the readings were very accurate. And yeah, that's kind of how I started. I asked my mom, she gave me a couple lessons, I dig deeper into it, and I think the most important part when it comes to tarot reading, whether that's reading for yourself or reading for other people, is to practice. I think practice your intuition. That's the biggest part of it. So that's really how I started with tarot reading, and since then I started posting on TikTok and Instagram, and I just kind of started doing readings, and it has been really fulfilling. It's really fun to kind of dabble into something different, and I do really love tarot, and I think it's such a beautiful a definition, and it is such pretty art as well when you look into tarot cards, and that brings me a lot of joy for some reason. I love collecting tarot decks now, and I have at least 20 tarot decks. I am not gonna get too deep into it, but I did get a lot of tarot decks, especially during COVID. I also got a lot of oracle cards, so I'm gonna quickly explain the differences between them and how you can get started. So what are differences between tarot and oracle cards? I use them both together for my readings, but tarot cards are more more of a structured system. They have same amount of cards for the most part. It depends on which deck you get. Sometimes you may get an extra couple cards, but you always get your major arcanas, you're gonna get your minor arcanas, you're gonna get cups, wands, pentacles, and swords. So those are the 4 suits. So they're all the same. So when it comes to different tarot cards, it's really just different arts, and this is the more original one, and this is just a Rider-Waite tarot, and this is how it looks like. And this is the deck I started with, and you can get this from Amazon and everywhere, but I started with the most basic traditional one to learn about the suits, and just understanding the meaning of each card as well. You can't really get into cards with really abstract meaning when you don't even know what the meaning of the card is about. And that's how I started with, and I study each card. I do a lot of practice on myself first, and that's kind of how I started with this deck. So if you are looking into tarot reading, I would definitely get started with the Rider-Waite, the most basic one to get started with first, understanding about each card, really connecting with each card as well before you move on to different tarot cards. So in terms of the oracle cards, this is the one I'm going to talk more about. This is one of my favorite. It's called Work Your Light oracle cards. So they don't really have a system. It really depending on, you know, the author, but this is how the cards look like. And you know, they have different arts, and usually they have like a little, you know, text about like the meaning as well. You can also read the guidebooks. For the most part, I just try to connect with the deck, especially with the artwork. And for the most part, because I've been working with this deck for such a long time now, I don't really use the guidebooks anymore, but I use them both together, and they really give me more accurate readings when I have both of them. Let's chat about how to, you know, do tarot readings and how to just get started with the whole process. It can be very intimidating sometimes. So like I mentioned, I'm going to put a couple resources below, and I'm going to talk more about how they help me as well. But when you finish studying your deck, you do want to, you know, study each card, each meaning, understanding about the signs, understanding, you know, the meanings outright, also reversed, and also starting to understand the intuitive reading of it, right? If you're looking at a 10 of Cups here, which is one of my favorite cards, you can see that, you know, there's like a happy family, a very fulfilling, happy life, future. And when it's when it's reversed, then it could be, you know, it might take some time to develop that future for you, or right now there's some blockage that's going on. So that's kind of how I read my cards, and I read it in a very intuitive way. Once you kind of do more practice, you'll be able to get there as well. And what I started with doing, you know, I just started shuffling my cards, and I would get like some cards popping up here. So you would just start shuffling. I start with one card first, daily card spread, and then you can do 3 cards. 3 is usually my favorite go-to. You can do extra couple cards, whatever feel the best for you. So I would get like Death card, which is nothing to be scared of, High Priestess, and 8 of Wands here. So it kind of telling me that there's a lot of things happening in my life. There's something I need to let go of, step up for myself. It's just like a very quick meaning of it, because I didn't really have a question in my head. But that's how I'm gonna get started, and you know, have a journal for yourself and write down the meaning. And I truly believe tarot is a really great way for self-growth, because every time I kind of need some answers, some guidance, sorry, Jason's just coming home. Every time I kind of need some guidance, I kind of go to my tarot cards, and it really gives me that peace of mind and just give me more clarity. And I really truly love it to do it on my own and do it on myself. In terms of how to do readings for other people, that's more the challenging part, because it was really scary for me initially. So I started doing for my friends and family first. Like I mentioned, my mom was the one that taught me how to do the readings, so I started doing readings for her and her friends. So they found it really accurate. So that was kind of my first sign that, you know, I'm understanding more about the cards and connecting to my cards. And I started doing it for my friends, and again, like I keep getting the message that I should just start doing it for other people. So I started my TikTok, Instagram, and the main platform that I used to practice at first before I started doing for other people was Bridget Tarot, which is a really great platform. And basically you can subscribe to community. Hi Theo! You can subscribe to the community, and you can do free readings for other people to exchange for reviews. So that's how I started, and that's how I, you know, practice in terms of how to do readings for other people. So I hope that was helpful. Again, it's very brief, you know, video talking more about how I got into tarot and how to get started. If there's any questions at all, no, feel free to message me as well. I will put my tarot reading website in the description bar as well. But lastly, I'm just going to quickly show you my favorite tarot decks. I have 2. So right away, it's still my favorite tarot deck, because it's just the first one I started with. It's very old now. It's very worn out. There's a little bit of food stain on it, which I'm not super proud of, but it was really, you know, the best deck to get started with. So I have a special connection with this deck, and it always gives me the best message. Like, it gives me a very straightforward message to a point that sometimes I get scared of it. But this is a deck I would recommend start it with. My second favorite is a Bolton Tarot, and this is truly my favorite tarot cards because the artwork is just beautiful here. I'm going to quickly show you. So this is how it looks like. I really like how it has that Japanese art component to it, and the deck just looks beautiful. I don't know, can you see it? So this is how it looks like. This is one of my favorite. I love that. Oh my god, this Lovers is my favorite card as well. So you can see the artwork is beautiful, and I just really like it. It's very unique, and it still gives you really good readings because it's really clear. It's not too far off from the normal tarot cards, and even if you're a beginner, you can still get started with this. And lastly, like I mentioned, the oracle cards that I use a lot is the Work Your Light oracle cards, and this did take me a little bit of time to connect with, but once I connected with it, the image, it gives really, you know, accurate reading, very gentle kind of message. So this is one of my favorite cards as well. If there's any questions at all, again, feel free to message me, comment below. Hope this was helpful. It's a little different when it comes to the content that I usually make here, but I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!
Hello, baby. What is it?
Hi, Theo.